More Yoga Fitness. My name is Kathy. Today we're going to be doing a hips only focused yoga stretch. So go ahead and grab your mat, and if you have one, grab your yoga block because it will come in handy for some of the poses we're going to do today. This class is for a wide variety of yogis, from the beginner to advanced, and there's several options that you can take to provide the stretch that feels best for your body. If you have any questions about the video, please leave them below in the comments. And if you like the video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, where I'll be posting several stretches and strengtheners for whoever needs a good stretch throughout their hips. Let's get started. We're going to begin in a pose called Cobbler's pose. So you want to bring the soles of your feet together till they touch. And for some of you, you may be able to reach down and grab onto your feet. Just allow your knees to splay out wide. And if you have a block or two, you can place one underneath each side so that you can support underneath. We're just going to remain seated here. I'm going to gently place my hands and provide a mudra, which is the connection of your thumb to any one of your fingers to provide you with a little calmness and peace. Close your eyes and take a few breaths here. Allow gravity to assist you in opening up your inner thigh and your groin area. Go ahead and open up your eyes. Let's allow a big breath in as you reach up, gaze up, and on your exhale, you're going to fold your chest down into your lap. So some of you will catch yourself shorter, and others you can walk your hands out as far as you can, dropping your chest down to your feet, not your nose or your face, but focus on the chest. Let's go ahead and walk our hands to the upper right. So I'm essentially coming right above where my knee is on the right. Bow the crown of your head down. And take 3 breaths here. And we'll begin walking our hands to the upper left. Bow down, draw your chest down. 3 breaths. Begin walking your hands back to center, and then walk yourself till you're into a seated position. For our next pose, I want you to start in a tabletop position, and I'm going to set my block aside for now. Tuck your toes, lift your tailbone, and find downward facing dog. You're welcome to pedal out your dog, bending opposite knees, to provide you with a little stretch through the back side of your legs. On your inhale, lift your right leg up toward the sky, and we're going to draw our right knee to our right wrist, our right ankle toward the left wrist. We're setting up for a pose called Pigeon Pose. And ideally, you'd like to square up the shin to the top of the mat, but not everybody has that flexibility. So drawing your heel down and bending your leg may be a little bit more comfortable for you. You'll have to find that sweet spot. So there are some of you not wanting to come all the way down. This is where your block comes in handy, where you can support underneath. So go ahead and find where you need to be for this pigeon pose. I'd like you to start by placing the pads of your hands on your mat and just opening up your chest and lifting your heart. From here, you're welcome to stay in tall arms if you're getting a really good stretch here. Some of you may want to use your block, and you can place your forearms on your block. Some of you will get rid of your block and place your forearms all the way to the mat. And there are those of you who may fold arm on arm and place your forehead or your third eye on your stacked arms. And then of course you have an option to bring the chest all the way to the mat. So find out where your sweet spot is and take 5 breaths here. Go ahead and open up your eyes and make your way back up into a tall spine. From here, before we get out of pigeon pose on this side, I just want you to simply walk your hands over to the outside of your pigeon leg. I'm going to actively press my palm into the outside of my thigh and reach my hand back. You also have an opportunity to half bind here. You can reach your hand behind your back and find your opposite hip crease. So everyone's going to have a little bit different range of motion. Just do a few breaths here in your pigeon twist. Let's unwind, and we'll tuck the toes under on the left and press back into downward facing dog. Let's go ahead and do that on side B. On your in-breath, lifting the left leg up. Draw the left knee to the left wrist, left ankle to the right wrist. Setting up for your pigeon, using your block and placing it underneath your sits bones if that's needed. I'm going to start with the pads of my fingers pressed into the mat, lift my chest, my chin, and open my neck. And we'll begin drawing our chest closer to the mat with those same options I gave you on the first side. And a lot of times everybody has a different feeling on each side. One side is your good side and one side is your bad side. So go ahead and just find that sweet spot. If you feel it, you're doing it right. We'll take 5 breaths. Go ahead and make your way into a tall spine. And we'll take that twist on this side, bringing my palm to the outside of my opposite thigh. Gazing back, you can support yourself here. You can reach back, or you can half bind, wrapping your arm behind your lower back, finding your opposite hip crease. We'll take a few breaths here. Let's release and unwind. Tuck your toes under on the right, lift up, tailbone, and find downward facing dog. From here, we'll make our way onto our knees and then onto our seats. We're gonna find another really nice hip opening stretch on our seats. It's called double pigeon, and you may or may not need your block. The intention here is to stack shin upon shin, ankle and knees stack. So many of you are going to need some assistance, placing a block underneath this knee, placing a block underneath this knee, or perhaps you have two and you can place it under either one. Some of you may look like this. You want to try to maintain as level of a posture with your legs as possible. From here, we're going to take a breath in, lift your rib cage up away from your lower back. And on your exhale, just drop your chest into your lap and reach forward. And we'll begin walking our hands in toward our torso. So I have my right leg stacked on top of my left. I'm going to take my right arm and just reach it down by my hip. My left arm wraps around my lower back and I'm going to find my opposite elbow pit. Take a breath in the center. And on your exhale, I want you to turn into your right arm. Inhale in the center. Now turn the other direction into the left shoulder. Inhale in the center, and we'll release. Let's get ready for side B. I'm going to unstack my legs and restack them. My left is on top of my right, and I'm trying to get my ankles and my knees one on top of the other. Again, use your block or two blocks if needed. We're going to start with a big breath in. I'm making sure my sitting bones are secured into the mat and remain there. Exhale, bow forward. Begin walking your hands toward your torso and come to a straight spine. My left is on top. My left hand comes right next to my hip. Right hand reaches behind the back. I'm going to grab onto my elbow pit just for some support and to really retract those shoulders back. Take a breath in. The exhale draws your chin and your gaze to the left. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, other direction, over to the right. Breathe in, come back to center. And we'll go ahead and release. For these last two poses, we're going to set up for what's called half lord of the fishes. So I'm bringing my legs out long. I'm going to start by drawing my left knee in nice and tight toward my chest, stepping that left foot over the right leg, keeping the toes flexed toward the face. I'm going to take my right arm and reach it up, gaze up. On the exhale, draw your elbow to the outside of your left thigh and take your gaze back. Inhale as you come back to center. I'm going to grab my left leg once again, but this time I'm going to plant it on the inside of my right leg. Bowing forward and drawing my armpit as close as I can to my left knee, I'm going to reach forward and find my right sole of foot. Just bow forward for 3 breaths here. From here, I'm going to wrap my arm with my armpit right in front of my shin and behind my back. I'm going to take my right hand and bring it around and find a connection behind my back. So you may not quite get to the connection. If you have a belt, you can always take a belt from your closet and hold the belt as close as you can to try and get a connection behind your back. Go ahead and breathe 3 breaths here. My gaze is over my right shoulder. Inhale as you release. And bring your hands down. We'll extend both legs out and just kind of shimmy around on the mat. Allow your legs to move a bit here. And we'll begin side B, drawing the right knee in toward the chest and maybe even up in toward the armpit. Stepping the right foot to the outside of your left leg, toes flexed toward the face. Take a breath in, you're reaching your left arm up. Take the elbow to the outside of your opposite thigh and gaze over your right shoulder. Just breathe. One more breath. And we'll go ahead and release, taking your shin and gently drawing that same leg, the right one, in toward you. You're going to plant your foot to the inside of your left thigh. I'm going to reach the inside of my leg. I'm going to reach toward my left foot. And this is another place where you could use a belt around the sole of your foot to assist you with keeping that flexion of your toe toward your face. And of course, if your flexibility won't allow your hand to come around your sole of foot. Let's take 3 breaths here, drawing chest to the left thigh. And while we're down here, I'm going to take my armpit and find my shin, wrap my arm around to reach behind my back. I'm going to take my left hand and try to find my right hand behind my back. Again, this bind can happen with a strap or belt behind you. Go ahead and gaze over your left shoulder and breathe 3 breaths. Release and breathe in. And done. Thank you for joining me for today's quick hip opening yoga practice. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please let me know with a like and a comment. And I'll see you again next time.